Conspiracy theory, let's go for it. I want to hear people's comments on this one. So, raising the federal minimum wage and why that is a waste of fucking time and energy. Well, for once, it's been done already, and look where we're at today. They raised the federal minimum wage, let's say, for example, $25 in certain areas or whatever. That only means they're going to cut hours of operation, and they're not going to approve any overtime. And good luck finding a second job. Poverty is what these people freaking thrive off of, man. They need you broke. They need you fucking broke. So I'm going to give you an example into how that looks like and how it plays out. I'm going to use the state of Florida, my home state, as an example. So let's say, for example, in the state of Florida, everybody gets a livable wage. That only would mean, if you don't know, Disney's expensive as hell, and a lot of Floridians do not go to Disney. Disney thrives off of tourism. So that only means that if everybody in the state of Florida was to get a livable wage and could afford to go to Disney, that's going to affect tourism and it's going to affect the airlines. They're not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to allow that to. They need you broke. They need you kept out of balance. Yeah, think about that. Sit on that one for a while. So now, they raise the federal minimum wage. They start cutting hours of operations. They don't approve any overtime. You're going to be balanced again. You're going to be living check to check. No matter what, they're going to keep you at that level. So, as a suggestion, as a humanitarian effort to help offset the cost of living, if you really want a raise, if you really want to, what I would highly suggest, if you noticed, they're gutting the hell out of Social Security. There ain't gonna be no Social Security. There's no 401ks anymore. There's truly no benefit in anything we're doing. But if you want to take control of your life financially, you want to set your own retirement, be in control of your own retirement, you fund it yourself, it's privately yours, there's no chance of them taking any of it from you, I suggest you listen to the pinned video on my page. It's a plot twist. It's a perspective. It's a different angle at doing something different. As a humanitarian effort, through our unity is the only way we're going to overcome the cost of living and poverty. Through this process that I'm explaining to you guys in the pinned videos is how we keep people fed, people housed. Nobody has to go to jail for being fucking homeless. And no one has to go without, to be honest with you. We don't even need the SNAP program. And most of you are not understanding it when I say it. We truly don't. A lot of these social safety nets that these people create is just so that they can tap into and live the lavish lifestyles that they're living and keep us all at the worst levels of fucking society. Like, you know what I mean? This is how poverty creates the ghettos and the hoods and the drug addictions and the mental health and all that. So if you didn't understand what that means is we can also lower the crime rate, because when the people are well funded, the crime rate lowers. People have lesser reason to commit crimes, and it improves the mental health. These are all things that they do not want to see. This is why they keep you in poverty. And the only way we're going to come out of this is through a united effort. We need to unite our efforts and start realizing that we are the true billionaires and trillionaires of this fucking country. Nothing moves without us. Nothing is government funded. It is taxpayer funded. Everything comes out of our pockets. So that only means one thing, that we have more than enough to go around. And if we create the system that would allow us to spread the wealth amongst ourselves, we can get ourselves up there with the churches and these elites and these corporations and get ourselves a tax-free incentive, because what we would need to do is make the exchange of currency, loans and donations. They can't tax that. You're going to benefit financially, and your children are too, through such a system. You're going to have your own raise, basically. You're going to have opportunities, because you're going to have monies to free up to invest in other areas like IRAs, mutual funds, and trust funds. That's your retirement. There's your Social Security. And there's a SNAP program replaced. Through a united effort, we create the system that would allow us to spread the wealth amongst ourselves, we don't have to ask these people for shit. And you gotta remember, man, keep in mind, they need us, we don't need them. They wouldn't have anything. They wouldn't be where they're at right now if it wasn't for us. And again, stop and think about this. Raise the federal minimum wage, you're just gonna get into a higher tax bracket. Ask around, man. We need to communicate more. I got a buddy that fought 2 years for a fucking raise, man, for $1 fucking raise, and all he got was an extra $20 a week. What the hell is that? $80 a month. That's all he got out of that. 2 years fighting for that, working 15 years at the same company. For nothing, really. Then COVID hit, gas prices went up, and it's been hell ever since. The only thing that bailed him out was that he got a better job that paid him more. And look where we're at today with the cost of living and inflation and all this shit. Like, you know what I mean? So if we create the system that would allow us to spread the wealth amongst ourselves, that puts the money directly into the hands of the people, you decide how you want to live your life. You have more control of your lifestyle and how you spend your money and how you invest it. You don't have to wait for a second handouts or, you know what I mean? You don't have to wait for handouts from this government. Stop allowing them to make so many fucking decisions for us. If you look at the categories of, you know, the churches that don't pay taxes, these elites and these corporations, we are truly the only ones that work for a fucking living. So if we're the ones that are making the money, why are we allowing them to make all the fucking decisions for us? Just food for thought, man. Raising the federal minimum wage is not the way to go. And taxing the rich, I mean, I'm not saying stop fighting for these things, but by the time that shit happens, please, let's be realistic here, people. If we don't do for ourselves and create for ourselves and keep allowing these people to do all that, you're just going to be under their control for the rest of your lives. And by creating such a system, our children do not have to know what this rat race and this fucking endless hamster wheel is, living check to check and having a second job or requiring to work overtime. When do we break the cycle? Please share the content. Watch the pinned video on my page.